Welcome to the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise podcast with global sales trainer and professional speaker, LOIS Kofi. Each week, it is her goal to share inspiration and education for you to be, do, have the best health and wealth and wisdom for your life.
Well, all right. Happy St. Patty's Day for those of us in America. We are celebrating St. Patrick's Day, but that's not why we're here. My name is Coach Lois. I'm the host of Healthy and Wealthy and Wise. It's a weekly podcast that's designed for you, my community members, my fans, my tribe, to help live your best life, your best health, your best wealth, and your best wisdom. And today we have a special guest all the way from the land down under, my Aussie brother. Good day, mate. Super excited to have. Yes. Can you tell? We're gonna have fun today, guys. So actually, Jules is my copywriter, and he and I met through podcasting. So he has his own podcast called Storytelling Secrets, and if you go and check him out on LinkedIn, you're gonna see he's helped create, get this, over the last 2 years, over 1.34 million in client results. So coaches and course creators hire him, including myself, to convert their high ticket leads into multiple six figures in 90 days. And he actually helped me get 57% opt-in rate on one of my landing pages. So Jules, I'm going to go ahead and shut up and just say thank you so much for being here. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about your story and how you got to be where you're at today.
Absolutely. I love sharing this story. So the way it all started was that March 2020, I was made redundant as a group fitness instructor and a PT, strength and conditioning coach. I thought that was my path. And then I was starting to feel a little bit like, man, I'm becoming a professional counter and cheerleader here. So it was good timing that and serendipitous that COVID happened because I was made redundant. I was dabbling with a few other marketing things on the side, and then I thought this is a really good opportunity to just go all in. And I tried stuff like bots. I tried stuff like Facebook ads and Amazon, and then I hadn't tried email. And I knew email didn't have all this red tape and all this bullcrap like you would see on other social media platforms. You have to keep evolving with the policies. So I chose email. Everyone thought, like, why are you reiterating for the 8th time? I'm like, just shut up. Let me do my own thing. I had nothing else to do, basically. And so I started on Upwork at the bottom of the barrel, $5 an email, just to get experience, just to get results for people. And when I shared, I got $5. I got my first $5 client. Everyone's like, that's just why even like I was excited, but they weren't excited. I'm like, okay, whatever. But then what I did was that I would listen to this one copywriter in Australia, had a podcast. It was called the Pete Godfrey Persuasion Show. And I would listen to that podcast. I would take the principles, I would apply it to my Upwork clients and I'd get a result. And then I would slowly do that and get a little bit more money. And then slowly do that and get a little bit more money until I had enough money to invest in the guy who actually ran the podcast, Pete. So my plan was like, look, if I have enough money to invest in the first month of coaching, I can get some results and then hopefully get another client and then get enough money to pay him for the second month. And that's exactly what happened. So literally it was a bit hand to mouth at the start where I was just like, write all this bunch of copy. I thought it was amazing. I give it back to Pete. And he's like, this is terrible. And then just start again. And so this process was write a bunch of copy, get feedback, give it to the client, get result, get a better client. Like this cycle was just going on and on for about 2 years. And I actually didn't see a result for a client. They put them out. They were just either content emails or they didn't use them. But it wasn't until about 6 months later when I started working with Pete, I got a big result. And that was a 160K launch with a coach. And she had a tiny list as well of 2,000 people. And that's when I started to believe in myself, like, okay, I'm actually good at this. This is something I want to invest in. And then continue to develop my skills, go on further. And then, the rest is history. So just like, maybe you've had the same situation, Lois, where, you start out small, get a bit of a result, get a better client, and then you just build your way up from there.
I love that. And you're so authentic and so genuine. And it's funny because I was a personal trainer, so I loved what you said about being a professional therapist and counter.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved it when I met you. You were so humble and so real. There's a lot of copywriters out there who promise the moon, like, and then I did buy some of Ian Stanley's things, and I know that there's a lot of copywriters out there. So can you tell us any like quick tips or secrets or what sets you apart from the people out there who, kind of are like pie in the sky copywriters?
Yeah. Okay. Uh. Well,
Threw you a
where do I
curveball.
begin with? Well, I run a podcast called Storytelling Secrets. So the thing I thrive on is stories for clients. I just feel like they're the best way to connect with people, and connect on an emotional level, and then sell without being pushy. So I resent pushy copy. I really don't like it when people, stab you a bunch of times and then hog tie you, throw you in the river, and then ask you for some money. Like, that's not the best feeling in the world. So what I do with my clients is that I take a bit more of a personalized approach. It takes a lot longer. It gets better results, in my opinion. And that's basically, I talk to their clients and I pull, so my clients' customers, my clients' clients, that makes sense. And then I pull out their stories, their journey, their experiences. If they let me, I try and go a little bit deeper into some of the emotional hangups that they had maybe before they were working with my client. I really understand what's going on as a market. That's what really helps me write good copy. I understand. I'm not guessing. You might hear a lot of other copywriters say go to Quora or Reddit, but how authentic are those things? Like, I'm not 100%. How embellished are those? Are they really telling you a surface level answer, or is it just something to look cool on the Quora or Reddit? I don't know. But if you're talking to someone face to face, not only do you get that amazing research, so this, you don't have to be a copywriter, but you can also use those testimonials everywhere, like in your Facebook ads, in your emails, on your website. Whenever you go to a speaking event, whenever you're doing a webinar, you've got these video testimonials that you've pulled out from your customers, and it's brilliant. And you can use it for content. Like, it's awesome. I just, so many use cases for just doing a bit of extra work and sitting down with your clients and having a discussion like, okay, what was troubling you before you came to me? And then just going from there and following up with some questions.
No, and I got to give you a shout out and a huge testimonial. Not only did you help me get a 57% opt-in rate on my 5-day challenge late last summer, I hired you, and we're still at the beginning, guys. So I can't give my official testimonial beyond where we're headed, because I'm not a copywriter. Okay. Even though I love writing books, I love writing blog posts. I have a big business. I have homeschooling kids. I have all of the things. And I see a lot of people make that mistake, Jules, where they're just like, I'll just write it myself, but it's not their genius. So I hired Jules. If you want to go check and see some of his handiwork, you can go to loiscoffey.com/framework. And he did spend, I think, an amazing amount of time interviewing my clients, getting connected with them, getting their pain points to then be able to write copy where you can actually feel what those clients of mine were feeling before working with Lois and then after working with Lois. So I just want to say kudos to you for doing that, because I don't know any other copywriter that does that. And I also know that you love to say, I'm going to get you excited about email marketing. And there's a lot of people out there that they're like, email marketing, they'll say, oh, it's dead. Who needs emails anymore?
Yeah.
Who can convert? And I won't lie. I mean, that's why when the pandemic hit, I wanted to dive in and create an email list, because for me, that's more like an asset. It's like tomorrow money. If
you're the queen of this,
right? So yeah, go to listbuildwithlois.com. Just kidding. But my point is, what do you say when someone says to you, nobody reads emails anymore. I'm not going to get excited about email marketing. I'm just going to post stuff on social media.
Yeah. I'd start with empathy and be like, look, I totally understand why you might think that. There's a lot of pushy marketers who will repeatedly follow up for something you don't want. There's just stuff being pitched left, right, and center. People wanting you to buy. They don't really actually meet you where you're at. But here's a small sample of people who are doing really well and are actually making the customers drawn to their emails. They're getting excited to read their emails, and it doesn't feel like a pitch. Would you like to see those examples? Yeah, I would. And then I showcase them on my wins.
Awesome.
Is it?
No. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say what would you say in that situation, Lois? Because I know you're in that position too, where people might be a bit skeptical.
Yeah, well, and we've actually partnered on some other things inside of my list building course. I talk about the EIEIO of email marketing.
Yeah.
And you're educating, you're inspiring, you're entertaining or engaging. It's not just a one-way street of spam. It's not. It's meant to be. And I love your emails. You guys need to sign up for his email list. His is one of the few email lists that I do this. I subscribe to people's email lists because I want to get ideas. And 90% of the time, I don't read them. But that's just me. I'm kind of
That's a nice compliment. Thank you, Lois.
And I love yours because you have real stories. It's not just, sales pitch. And I could still learn a lot from you because you follow the EIEI approach better than I do. And it is about entertainment, education, inspiration. I remember reading about you when you had COVID. So you really are making it more of a two-way conversation. So I'm sure your open rate is much higher than the average person, right?
It's okay. I still struggle with opens like everyone else.
Okay.
I know there's someone called Troy, shameless. There's a guy called Troy Erickson. He does a really good job at getting people out of the Gmail promo tab. He's worked it out with some super code and he's got a brilliant offer. So I take my hat off to him. Not jealous at all. He's done a really good job at that because there's such a big problem in the marketplace. People getting trapped in the Gmail promo tab and it's hard to get out if you don't know what you're doing.
No, right on. Well, and I was going to say, and I know we talked about this ad nauseum. So guys, we're being real and honest here. We're not selling you on email copywriting.
Good advice.
It's just our experience. I decided to build an email list again as an asset, as an engaging conversation with my tribe, my I call them my family. I like that actually better than tribe, but to be able to have ways to connect with people, because even if they don't open my emails, they see my name.
That's the thing, Lois. Yeah. The name, your from name is the reason why people want to open it.
And I want to give you kudos because this is also important. I heard you say that you've only been doing it for 2 years, which is incredible. And you have had amazing results. Again, reminding you guys to over 1.3 million in client results and helping people launch their high ticket and convert their offers into multiple six figures in just 90 days. But you hired a coach, you had a mentor, and you even followed him for whatever you said, 6 months for just to get free.
Probably about 3 months, just listening to his podcast on repeat, binged. Yep.
And ultimately, you became coachable. You became a student, and obviously, you put your money out there to work with him, and it's paid back. Do you have any advice for those budding copywriters out there, or people who are trying to do it themselves?
Yeah. Okay. This is a big tip. And I didn't realize this after I invested, but the reason why I found that Pete was such a valuable coach was because he still does what he teaches. So he's still a writer 20 years late. He's been writing for 20 years. He still teaches and does a few info products on the side, but that's not his core business. See, there would be a lot of other copywriters who would just, all they do is in the market of selling how to copyright. but they haven't actually picked up a pen or written anything on the keyboard for a client. So they're a bit out of touch. And in hindsight, I think that was a very smart decision going with someone like Pete. You don't have to always go with someone like Pete. You don't have to go with specifically Pete, but having a mentor or someone who's still in the field doing it is a massive bonus, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really care for people who are do as I say, not as I do, you know? It's kind of like not that this is a bad thing, but you were a personal trainer. I was a personal trainer. I actually trusted, the healthy and fit personal trainers more than the injured and overweight ones too.
Right. But fat doctor. There's all these other incongruencies in the world that add up. But interesting side topic.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, because you and I have that in common, and we
go totally.
Well, I know you helped Colin Boyd with the biggest launch of his program. You did 47,000 off of just 2,600 leads and no affiliates. Then there's Rebecca Davison. She brought in, with your help, 26 high ticket appointments. Why do you focus on high ticket coaches and course creators?
High ticket, yeah, because it's easier to get bigger result. Because when you do the maths, it's a lot simpler to get a bigger result. I think that's all it comes down to now that you've just asked that question. So if there's 2,000 people on a list and you only need 20 people to give you $8,000, that equals $160,000. That doesn't sound like a big effort, does it? 20 people to put their hand up. No. But if you did the opposite, if you said, I don't know, like 40 people gave you $500, what is that? 40 times 500, $20,000, like night and day comparison. Even though you might think that price point is more justifiable, I don't know. Yeah, it's about the numbers. That's the big thing.
That's awesome. And I want to, if we have people in the audience, this is a couple gentle reminders here. I know this isn't my normal podcasting time, because the normal time would have been the middle of the night for my Aussie friend here. So go ahead. If you want to comment below with your copywriting questions or anything that you're inspired by. And also please hit the share button with your community. And of course, if you are seeing this later on YouTube or iTunes or Spotify or wherever, please jump inside the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise Facebook community. That's where Jules and all of my guests are. So come on in. The water is warm. I'd love for you to talk about, I know it's a little bit early. We're just over halfway through the show, but I'd love for you to talk about our upcoming webinar. You and I are going to be doing a joint webinar. I want everybody to attend on April 6th. And we're going to be talking about paid traffic email masterclass. So we haven't talked about paid traffic yet. So maybe explain a little bit about that, and then we'll talk about what we're going to talk about in the masterclass.
Okay, sure thing. I thought you'd ask this question. So I thought I might pre-frame it a little bit, why paid traffic is like a little something really special, especially when it comes to email. So recently I wrote an email sequence that is currently producing just a stupid amount of money for a client. I should have charged way more, but that's to my knowledge, it's created $840,000 for that client. It's got 7 emails in it, and I haven't checked back with them for 4 months. So that would be maybe into the millions. I don't know yet, but it's doing really well. And the reason why I wanted, and I thought about this, Lois, and I try to reverse engineer, and then there's several different types of opt-ins. Someone coming into your list, okay? And there's like a hierarchy of like worst to absolute best. So, and everyone's probably aware of this. First, you've got your impromptu, you're scrolling on Facebook and you see some lead magnet, and then you opt in, and then you're just like, yeah, whatever. Don't ever open it. I've done that. You've done that. Everyone's done that. Okay. That's like the lowest tier of intent. Then you've got, say, something like a free webinar where there's a little bit more intent. They want to learn something. They want to solve a problem. They go to the webinar. But, as you know, show-up rate is quite low because there's nothing at stake. It's free. Then you've got the next thing up from, say, like a a Facebook ad where they have to get onto a call. So that's a much bigger commitment because they know what they're going into. They know it's a sales pitch. Like the stakes are high. The intent is actually much higher. And then obviously you've got like low ticket product, and you've got a paid challenge, then you've got courses and coaching. And it goes up and up and up. But with the free call, they've already booked in, or they were about to book in and they didn't stop. That's where a lot of Facebook ads and YouTube ads are currently right now. They're trying to get people onto a strategy call from the ad. So it's like, usually it's like an ad and then a landing page for some training, and then, booking for a call. That's what everyone is doing right now to offset the ad costs, because ad costs are so much right now, or they're just wildly volatile. So high ticket on the back end, you need to get them to a call. And so I figured, wow, so many people are doing this right now, but the emails that I'm seeing when I opt into these funnels are actually just putrid. They're so bad, Lois. I wanted to give you an example before. They're just confusing. It's just hard to follow. So I wanted to create this webinar to show you, okay, one, how did I do this for this client? What did I say? What are the principles? And obviously, what are some of the mistakes you want to avoid so you don't turn away hot leads from coming into your calendar?
Yep. Awesome. Yeah. And
excited?
Say that again.
Are you excited?
Yes. Well, I'm excited, but I got to be honest, I haven't done any paid traffic ever. So it'll be interesting to find out. I'm excited to attend this masterclass so I can learn from you. And I love the numbers, 840,000 plus. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. It won't be anything to do with the actual ad. It's what comes after the ad. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%. And I'm with you because, one of my programs is called Fortune is in the Follow-Up. And that's also why I hired you, because I understand that I've been leaving money on the table without a really high quality email campaign. So guys, if you're curious and you want to, and I see we have a few people watching on the live, so please, again, comment below if you have questions. Again, April 6th is when we have that class, julesdan.com/paid traffic -email masterclass. And I will, of course, have that in the show notes, because that's a lot of vowels, a lot of consonants. And it is all about the follow-up. And again, nobody should be doing their own email copy. Nobody. And I saw on the landing page, you've got all of these amazing testimonials, and we are only limiting it to 100 people. So just want to make sure. Yeah, because of Zoom. So make sure you guys sign up for that free 45-minute training. So I think that's also a really great amount of time on how to, sell your high ticket services on the back end of your paid traffic. And even if you don't, I just want to reiterate to people, even if you haven't done paid traffic, talk to Jules, because those follow-up emails, they're not going to write themselves. And I want to mention this to you. You mentioned this earlier, but this is one of the things that I love about working with you, and then also with email, a copy. You can repurpose it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you can turn them into your email blasts.
Yeah. So can you, because you're the expert, can you share all the ways someone could take one email and repurpose it in their business to manifest and monetize further?
Well, the first thing you could do is just test the hooks in your emails out in social media. And obviously you might want to cut them down to fit social media. But look, if you're curious to know what the market is, how it's responding, and you're constantly publishing, maybe you could see if the headline or the subject line or the first few sentences of that post actually resonates with your audience on social media, and then you can test in advance before you have to wait before your email list fills up. That's something you could do. I saw Lois doing this. She had a free masterclass coming up for something about, I'm not sure what it was, but what she did was that she took one of the emails that I created for the automated follow-up and then used that as a story to, build desire and curiosity of, how did they do it before she pitched the webinar. What else we got? Those are my two main ones, really.
I was going to say, I love repurposing them inside of different email campaigns, even repurposing them to different email lists, because you can
hmm
split tests and do different things, the social media. But then also, I put them on my blog, because anything I can do to boost my SEO, and then also because I worked with you, and you interviewed my clients for the follow-up email series.
hmm
I also repurposed some of those videos inside of my YouTube channel, so that you have given me so many opportunities for people to find this stuff in my blog.
Yeah.
And then, of course, emails, you can recycle them all the time because you're getting new people in your list. So I before we start wrapping it up, I did want to remind you guys, if you want to see from my side and then better understand what Julian's talking about, sign up for my free lead magnet. It's essentially my 35-minute on-demand training that is my 4 steps, my 4 daily steps that I've done in my business, really for 22 years to increase sales results in less time. And then you'll see not only the landing page, you'll also see the follow-up emails and better understanding. And I'll report back to you guys later with the amazing results. So besides them attending our April 6th webinar, what other nugget of wisdom that you've learned over these past 2 years can you share with us today that you think is just, oh my gosh, Lois, I can't leave this?
Okay. Yeah, I've got it written down here. So there's 3 things that needs to happen to take someone from being a stranger to getting on a call with you. A lot of people might think it's goodwill or content or whatever, but these are the 3 things I've distilled from just studying the crap out of my mentor, Pete. And the first thing is that they need to view you as a trusted advisor. The second thing is they need to see your wizardry in action by being a problem solver. And the third thing is that you need to answer their unspoken objections. And so you can do this through content, you can do this through goodwill, you can do this through stories that, bring up the pain point and then segue into a pitch. But if you're just creating stuff for the sake of, oh, I'm giving value, but you don't answer these 3 things, then what are you doing? You need a clear objective.
Well, and I was gonna mention this to you. This is like for another day, another time. There's people who really study the 4 personality types as well. So how
What are
important
the
is
4
that?
personality types?
Well, one of my friends there's all these different personality tests, right?
I've heard the Myers-Briggs is 16 of them.
Good point. Well, the average ones, like the disc, we'll
Oh,
use
yeah,
that.
okay. I'm
Discuss.
aware of the disc. Let's
Yeah.
go with that.
So do you try to, when in your copy, appeal to all 4 of those personalities?
That is a good point. I haven't thought about that yet. You kind of stumped me here, Lois. Mainly each email would be more honed towards a specific pain point or problem or objection rather than a personality trait. But I hadn't thought about person because that is difficult to tell. Like, is it 25, 25, 25, 25? Or is it like, what's the percentage of the audience? Like, that would come under hyper optimizing your emails. I'd be very interested to hear a marketer who's testing that.
Well, and I won't go into the whole story. I'll WhatsApp you what happened in this conversation. But I also think, and I'm going to defer to you on this, but and it's also something I coach inside of my list build course. Yes, you can get an opt-in. Sure, you can have an open rate, but my best feedback for maybe the people that I don't want in my email list or the people that don't like me is the unsubscribe. I love it when people unsubscribe from my list, because guess what? I don't care what their personality type is. I'm like, you just did me a favor. I don't take it as a form of rejection, like, oh, he doesn't like me, Jules. What am I gonna do? And I don't want to be a people-pleasing email list person either, right? Does that make sense? What do you think?
It makes total sense, Lois. I've actually battled with this. I've created a podcast episode. I know business owners struggle with unsubscribes, it's hard to accept that rejection is good because as humans back in the day, if you got kicked out of the tribe, it probably meant death or something like that, or you wouldn't get to procreate or whatever it was. But we've passed that. An unsubscribe doesn't mean that's going to happen, but it's kind of wired into us, so it's not your fault. But there is a better way to think about it. Like Lois said, it means they're not the right fit, which is don't have to waste any more energy on them.
Well, and I'll be honest, I tell my story and then I have one more closing question for you just to let you know. I say this, that I built my email list from 0 to 2,000 in the beginning of the pandemic and that first 12 weeks. Well, guess what?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Probably 50% of them unsubscribed, within the next 6 to 12 months because I didn't know who my target market was. I didn't know who I wanted to speak my truth to and let them stay in my blanket fort. That phrase, if you want to know who
That's a good
your friends really
visualization.
are, and that was okay because I was ignorance on fire, which is better than knowledge on ice. So I just want to share that with people that Jules and I both having this candid conversation. We're both still learning. We're both still
Absolutely.
failing forward, but I will say Jules is having an amazing success rate helping his clients bank on his amazing copywriting skills. So thank you for being my guest today. Thank you for being my copywriter. Again, a quick selfish little request. Check out the loiscoffey.com/framework. Please sign up. I'll put the link in the show notes for that. And the April 6th webinar, if you want to really blow things up in your business.
Come to the webinar. It'll be fun.
Come to the webinar. So my last question for
Nothing for sale as well, by the way.
Oh, we're going to have to talk about that. No, I'm just kidding.
Nothing for sale. Okay, there is an opportunity to book a call with me, but there's not like an offer where you have to act now in 24 hours.
Yeah. And I learned that actually switching to high ticket. A lot of my webinars, I don't offer anything either. It's brilliant. So I'm excited to be hosting that for you. And as we close it out, Jules, I always close with the same question for all my guests. Since the name Healthy and Wealthy and Wise for me is a lifestyle. For me, it embodies my spirituality and who I want to attract in my life. But when you hear the phrase Healthy and Wealthy and Wise, what does it mean for you?
Well, health is a very important facet of my life because if you can't put your own oxygen mask on first, you can't help everyone else. And I've seen people's health go downhill, and then it's just like it's a downward spiral from there. And I get I honestly believe that without that, like with your health, like the wealthy and wise, it comes if you just put the effort in. If you just follow the footsteps, fail, reiterate. But I'm not sure if this really answers your question, but I honestly think if you don't have health, it's hard to be wealthy and wise.
Oh, there's no wrong answer. That's why I always love to ask my guests and close with that question because I love to learn from you. And what you said is actually a majority of what my guests have said. And you and I both have gone through COVID together. I talked to you about my post-COVID poop issues. So we know.
Look how good you look. Look how good her skin is. It's like, what? Put that in a jar. Maybe don't.
There's no, we won't go there, but if we could have recorded the pre-show conversation, that would have been a good blooper for the blooper reel. So awesome. Well, and Healthy and Wealthy Wise to me means having amazing guests, amazing laughter. So thank you for helping us end the show on a high note. I hope you have an amazing day over there
Thanks
in
for
Australia.
listening.
And until next time, guys, next week we actually have a really, really, really special guest. I don't want to forget to mention this. Next Friday, March 25th, I have my own psychedelic somatic therapist who has helped me find health I didn't know I had.
That is interesting. I'm going to talk to you about that after.
Which is actually partially why I do have a glow. She helped me release a lot of stuff. We'll just leave it at that. And help me really find my true self inside myself and release a lot of trauma and all the things that goes with that. So you can't be your best self if you don't go within. And she helped me quiet the mind and help release a lot of stuff in my body. So I'm looking forward to hosting her, Jill Van Meter, next Friday, March 25th at our quote unquote normal time, 10 a.m. Pacific, next week. Until then, guys, here's to your best health, your best wealth, and your best wisdom, whatever that means for you. Bye-bye for now.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, refer a friend, and please drop me a rating or a review. If you do that, I'll reward you with a free 20-minute free coaching session on crafting your journey to your best self. Reach out to me at lois@loiscoffee.com to claim your 20-minute slot. Until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.